If you've been waiting for the moment when humanoid robots stop being a demo video and start being a line item on a real factory scoreboard, today might be it.
Siemens is saying their deployed humanoid is hitting real throughput metrics in logistics: 60 tote moves an hour, over 8 hours of uptime, and north of 90% pick-and-place success using NVIDIA's physical AI stack.
And if that's true, it's not just a robotics story. It's an automation story, a regulation story, and a job story all at once. Let's start with the headline that changes the temperature in the room. Siemens and a company called Humanoid say they've deployed the HMND Era 1 Alpha humanoid inside Siemens logistics operations. This isn't walking around on stage. It's tote handling, pick, move, place, where factories actually measure productivity.
Right. And Siemens didn't just say, "We tried it." They put numbers on it: 60 tote moves per hour, more than 8 hours of uptime, and above 90% autonomous pick-and-place success. They also said simulation-first development compressed prototype timelines from the usual 18 to 24 months down to 7.
That 7-month claim matters because it hints at a flywheel. Simulation reduces iteration cost, which speeds deployment, which generates real-world data, which improves the models, which improves deployment.
And the stack is the story. Siemens is bringing the industrial integration: accelerator, digital twins, PLC robot interfaces, fleet management, industrial networking. NVIDIA is bringing the physical AI toolkit: Isaac Sim and Isaac Lab for training and reinforcement learning, plus Jetson Thor for edge inference. Humanoid brings their KinetIQ framework and the robot itself.
Translation: the robot isn't the product. The product is the factory-grade integration layer, plus the training pipeline. That's how Humanoid becomes something procurement can buy.
Also notice the initial task: tote moves. It's constrained, it's repetitive, it's measurable. If you're rolling out robots, you start where you can define success clearly and where safety can be engineered.
Here's the business implication. If a humanoid can slot into existing environments without rebuilding the entire facility, the ROI window moves dramatically. You're not redesigning the factory. You're adding labor capacity.
On the white-collar side, the agentic wave is going mainstream. EY rolled out enterprise-scale agentic AI in Assurance inside EY Canvas, and the scale here is enormous. They're talking about 130,000 assurance professionals, 160,000 engagements, and more than 150 countries.
And they process 1.4 trillion lines of journal entry data per year. That number is insane. And it tells you why they're doing agentic AI. The work is too big for manual review patterns.
EY also frames this as multi-agent orchestration integrated with Microsoft Azure, Foundry, and Fabric. So it's not chat with a bot. It's agents coordinate tasks, pull guidance, flag risks, and still keep humans in the loop.
Then Oracle comes in with a parallel move in customer experience. They launched 5 Fusion agentic applications for CX, sales, service, marketing, built into Fusion Cloud, running on Oracle Cloud infrastructure.
What matters is the design pattern. Agents progress routine workflows autonomously, but escalate exceptions. Oracle lists use cases like Sales Command Center for pipeline monitoring and next best actions, plus contract compliance analysis that semantically checks contracts for policy deviations.
So we're watching agentic AI move from pilot to platform feature. When a Big Four firm and a mega vendor both ship it, procurement starts assuming it's table stakes.
But as soon as you automate decisions, you create governance pressure. It's not just accuracy, it's accountability. Who approved the action, what policy was applied, what data was used.
That governance pressure is showing up in lawmaking speed. Plural Policy tracked 19 new AI-related laws passed in a 2-week period, bringing the 2026 total to 25. And they note another 27 bills that passed both chambers.
And the themes are exactly what you'd expect when AI touches real people. Education frameworks for generative AI, deepfake disclaimers in political ads, conversational AI regulation, and restrictions around health insurance prior authorization decisions.
The practical takeaway for businesses is brutal. Compliance won't be one law. It'll be 50 state fragmentation plus sector rules.
One example, Washington's HB 1170, summarized by Morrison Foerster, applies to providers of generative AI systems over 1 million monthly users and requires provenance data in video, image, or audio content created or materially altered by the system. It takes effect February 1st, 2027.
That means product teams need to build provenance as a feature, not an afterthought. If you wait until 2026 Q4, you're going to hate your life.
And New York's S8828 is a different layer: frontier model developer transparency and safety requirements. It's introduced already, and it shows where this is going. Standardized transparency criteria, incident reporting, and oversight structures.
Here's the cross-topic thread. As robots hit factory floors and agents hit financial workflows, policymakers start asking for audit trails.
Now, zoom into health. OpenAI launched GPT Rosalind, described as a life sciences agent for biochemistry, drug discovery, and translational medicine. They frame the pain points: 10 to 15 years for drug approvals, around 10% success in U.S. clinical trials, and more than 300 million people living with rare diseases globally.
This is the bet. If the bottleneck is researcher time, reading, planning, analyzing, then a specialized agent can compress cycle time.
But there's also the biorisk side. The report notes limited rollout via a trusted access program for vetted organizations, because you don't want a biology agent to become a misuse accelerator.
On longevity, we're seeing capital and clinical programs trying to move from interesting science to human data. Life Biosciences raised $80 million in a Series D to fund their Phase 1 ER100 trial, NCT 07290244, focused on optic neuropathies, including open-angle glaucoma and NAION, and to push their partial epigenetic reprogramming platform.
And Rubido reported positive preliminary Phase 1 results for a topical senolytic-style approach, RLS 1496, a GPX4 modulator, in plaque psoriasis, atopic dermatitis, and photoaged skin. They reported no serious adverse events in 4 weeks, dose-response signals, and reductions in senescent cells and inflammatory biomarkers.
Here's what's wild. Those are not live forever claims. They're specific indications with measurable endpoints. That's how this field becomes investable.
And the public sector is trying to solve the hardest piece: time. ARPA-H's Pro-SPR program wants early biomarkers that predict long-term outcomes, enabling 1 to 3 year health span trials instead of decade-long studies, with up to $144 million over 5 years.
So you've got a triangle. Life sciences, AI to speed discovery. Longevity biotechs, pushing human trials. And ARPA-H trying to shorten the evidence cycle with surrogate biomarkers. That's a real ecosystem. Let's talk consequences. Meta Intro's April tracker says at least 30,000 job cuts in 2026 have been attributed to AI adoption, after 55,000 AI-cited cuts in 2025. And they list more than 15 companies with layoffs in a 2-week April window.
But the same tracker points to a narrative nuance. A survey it cites found many hiring managers admit they emphasize AI in layoff announcements because it plays better with stakeholders. That's important, because it means AI can be both a real productivity lever and a PR story covering broader cost resets.
Strategically, companies need to be honest internally. If you're using AI to remove work, you must also redesign the work system, controls, quality checks, and reskilling paths. Otherwise, you get short-term savings and long-term operational risk.
And if you're an employee listening, the safe bet is moving closer to the decision loops, owning the process, the metrics, and the guardrails, because the routine execution layer is what's getting automated first.
Rapid fire. NVIDIA's Ising open-source quantum AI models are a reminder that the next wave isn't only bigger language models. It's specialized models that sit inside technical stacks and make hard systems manageable.
And the Siemens Humanoid deployment is your watch this space moment. As soon as factories treat humanoids like measurable equipment, the vendor ecosystem will explode: simulation, safety certification, fleet management, and training data pipelines.
Finally, if you're a business leader, plural policies count. 19 new AI laws in 2 weeks should end the "we'll deal with regulation later" mindset. Build compliance and provenance into the product now. That's the breakdown for today. The stories are moving fast, but the playbook for staying ahead doesn't change.
If any of this hit close to home for your industry or your role, the newsletter goes deeper every week. Link in the description.
We're Marcus Reed and Sarah Chen. This is your AI future. Subscribe if you want to keep up, and we'll see you tomorrow.